I would have done Helen Reddy in a heartbeat. She was even an older gal at that time. All right. Welcome to Mr. Raider, y'all. I've had quite an adventurous day today. First of all, I wake up to a phone call finding out that my son rolled his truck. Thank God he's all right. Everything's good. He's physically all right, but he's having a mental state. And I understand that. So my daughter's the one that calls me to wake me up, to tell me what happened. Well, we all know as parents, man, your first reaction was, what in the hell was he doing? All right, maybe not with all your kids, but with my boy Caden, that's the first thing I'm thinking. So I expressed this to my daughter that called me, and she didn't take it very lightly. In fact, she hung up on me and sent me quite a lengthy text. I responded back, it was all good. So now I'm driving home because I'm up north. Before all that, I did happen to call my boy Caden, of course, to make sure he was okay. And he was at work. He was all right physically, but mentally he was having one of those days. And I'm glad I called him because he needed to hear it. And know at that time, because now I've had a chance to relax, embrace what had happened, think about the situation that really happened, and try to find a solution for my boy. So when I did call him, I showed him that there was some light at the end of the tunnel. So now I'm up north, Salt Lake area. I've got to come back to St. George. Y'all, generally, I say a little prayer before I hit the road, just in terms of let everybody travel safe, that I'm traveling along with me, everybody. Please let no mishaps happen, nor let any incidents happen. Well, after all that went on this morning, when I got in the car to head southbound, I didn't say my usual little safety prayer. 27 miles out of Beaver, karma hits. My car blows up. All right, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Had the cruise control on, getting ready to come down out of a little swell just outside of Beaver. You come up over a little ridge and down through this little canyon. Coming down, I'm doing all right. Got my speed where it needs to be. On my cruise control, somebody pulls around in front of me. I got to take the cruise control off. They finally get around the little trailer that we're trying to get around. I hit the resume on the cruise control, and I don't know what happened, but it's a 2004 Mercury Mountaineer. It's got some miles on it. In fact, since I've had it in the last year, I put 18,000 miles on it. Easy. Just because that's what I've been doing with what I do for work when I am working. So anyway, all of a sudden I feel it. I look in my rear view, I see smoke coming out the back. I feel the power slightly decreasing more and more. I'm giving it more acceleration, and the more accelerator I give it, the more smoke that's blowing out the back, y'all. Either suck the valve or threw a rod. Guaranteed. Because when I pulled it over, oh, and thank God where I pulled it over was just before guardrails. Man, somebody was looking out for me today. That's all we're getting to. And my family, with my boy rolling his truck, he's fine. Physically, everything, I mean, it's crazy, okay? So I get it off on the right part of the road, open the hood, look underneath, and there's oil everywhere. Well, me being a service writer in the past and in the mechanical business, at one point in time in the automotive mechanical business, usually when you see that, new motor. Well, I didn't freak out because I thought, hey, it's better than rolling. You know? And at my age, I don't know if I could handle a rollover like my 21-year-old son. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of elastic at 21. We all know that, how we were. 10 feet tall and bulletproof. You know, that's how y'all feel all the time when you're 21. I remember those good old days. Still think I am sometimes until this hip kicks in. But anyway. So now, I'm like, all right. But the thing about the ride that I was driving in, my Mercury Mountaineer, it was getting ready to have some things done to it that I was about ready to put about $1,200 into this car in terms of a new stereo, some tires. I need to get some brakes done. There's a bearing that was starting to go a little bit. So now I'm thinking, you know what, man? It was time anyway. Got my money out of it. Hey, paid two grand for it when I bought it. I got 18,000 miles out of it. There you go. Oh, and when I take it to the junkyard, they'll give me $300 for it. So now I'm looking for a new ride. I already think I got one. But guess what? I ain't paying more than $2,100. And if it lasts me 2 years, I'm ahead of all you mofos that are paying $450 a month for a car payment. Guess what? Your car takes you from here to there. That's it. Doesn't matter what's inside of it. Nobody cares. But you all do apparently. But anyway, we'll get back to that later. So anyway, now I'm sitting on the side of the road, 27 miles outside of Beaver. Thinking, all right, I made a couple phone calls down here to St. George, but what are they going to be able to do for me? So then I decided to make a phone call to a friend of mine that I do baseball for. And he's got some coaches' numbers in Beaver because I umpire in Beaver quite a bit. Know those Beaver people? This is what comes up handy when you're an umpire, man, and you get to see these people from all over and you do your job right. And we talk about this all the time. You weave yourself into that community. I've woven myself into the community of Beaver only because I officiate in that town. And I know it's all about the kids when I officiate there. And the people respond. So I get a phone number from so-and-so. It gets me connected to so-and-so. I call so-and-so. It just so happens that so-and-so that's driving the tow truck, LB, thank you, baby. Okay? Beaver Valley Towing. Got to give you some love, all right? There you go. I happen to officiate and umpire his grandchildren. Ends up, I got AAA through my girlie. I get towed all the way back to St. George. And all this happens in a matter of about 4 hours. Let's go this fingers. 4 hours. 4 hours. How often do you break down on the side of the road? You got to go 127 miles to get you to home, get a tow truck, make a call, this and that, and it only takes you 4 hours total from the time I broke down because of the phone calls I had to make to finally, the connections I had to make, and gets me all the way home 127 miles away in 4 hours. That's not an everyday occurrence. And actually this podcast today was going to be about, because I tried to do it in my car when I was a little angrier, but the tow truck showed up too quick. I couldn't even get the podcast out, man. I'm sitting in my car. Beaver Valley Towing, that's what they do for y'all. Make sure you let them know Mr. Raider sent you, okay? If you're outside of Beaver on I-15 anywhere near, make sure. So now I get home. On the way home, I'm already looking for vehicles because I know the engine's blowed up. I knows I need a new vehicle. So I hit KSL. Sorry, got to go there because I tried all these other things, man. No, if you want a vehicle by an owner, go to damn KSL. And I don't even like those guys. It's nothing personal, it is, but we won't go there. But KSL.com if you need a car locally. I'm not kidding you. So I get home. They drop me right off at the back of my pad. Go in, talk to my kids. They already know what's going on. My son lets me borrow his car. I already took one test drive tonight on a vehicle that I think I need to buy, but no, I'm not going to get that one. Tomorrow I got another test drive set up for 11 a.m. But all I'm going to say to you all is that I hope some of you seen that video where life is hopeless, right? Where you see the lions pulling on that little baby water buffalo and then the alligator grabbing him in the ass, da-da-da-da. I started thinking about that today while I'm sitting there on the side of the road, man, and guess what? Life isn't so bad when shit happens. And thank God for the device that we always talk about. Oh, wait, there we go. Let me show you a picture. That's my granddaddy, okay? Yeah, my dad's on my leg. That's granddad, okay? That was before this one was done. But anyway, it always shows you that, man, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But while we're got our devices, we're never out in the middle of nowhere. Usually, okay, very rarely are you on a highway that you don't have service. Back in the good old days in the 70s, hell, guess what I was doing? My shit's broke down. I'm taking a little bag of whatever I got in the car with me, and maybe, if I had some beers in the back that I wasn't drinking while I was driving, but I was waiting before, I guess what? I'd probably take one of those with me too, so I can have a beer on the way while I'm hitchhiking in the 70s. All right, I'll be honest, in the 70s, hell yeah, I had beers in the back of the damn car. It's what we all did. In fact, up until the 80s, the passenger in your car could be drinking while you were driving as long as the driver wasn't drinking. Those are just the times that have changed. But no, with my cell phone, I was able to make the connections, get back to St. George, happy as a clam. Just want y'all to know, man, we always have hope. Just believe in yourself. And this thing right here, they'll even tell you what mile marker you're at, okay? That's what's nice. Didn't have that in the day. You didn't know what mile marker you had until you walked past that son bitch while you were hitchhiking trying to get a ride to the next town so you could go find somebody with a tow truck. And hell no, nobody had a phone in their ride. But if you got a trucker, he could radio. 10-4 good, buddy. Yeah. What's your 20? Anybody know what that means anymore? I doubt it. 10-9? Tell me what that means. Come back, please. Didn't read you. That's what's going on with a lot of shit going on. Everybody's 10-9-ing each other. Oh, I didn't understand that. Guess what? What I do understand today, I still have faith in Americans. I still have faith in the system. My car blowed up, but I'm not angry. This is Mr. Raider, and I'm through.